what are your insights from game streaming that can be used in, say, business or just making authentic content?
Interaction. For me, it was a really good place to start without camera, because then I can interact with the chat. We had this connection through the chat. And then when I brought the camera, it got even more intense because they had something to look upon. So you don't have to worry about the views. I hid my views every time I start because I noticed it gets to my head really fast. So if I hide them, I can be myself.
What tips do you have for people who want to get into doing authentic content?
Less minutes, more content. Because we as humans, we don't want to watch 20 minutes of a video, to be honest.
It actually should be 12 minutes. It's 20. Like, why are you wasting my time?
Take an interest in it. Check every possible information you can find about it. Start from that. Then think, what's your theme? And then check what others do on that theme of content. There's always sub-themes. For example, gaming is a theme, not sub-theme. It's a theme where there's RPGs, driving games. The two things you have to find in any content creation, your superpowers. And the second one is finding your audience. These two take time. They are not like 5 minutes and it's done.
Welcome everybody to the Authentic Content Podcast. Today we have Joni here. He calls himself Loyal von Joni. Welcome.
Well, hello. Happy to be here.
And why we're having you is because you're a normal guy who over time got more and more comfortable with recording and now have quite a nice setup. We were discussing in the beginning how I was complaining that you look much better. You have better lighting than I do. So I was complaining about that. And you look sharper. So, but I want to talk. So, I want to talk about that. Like, how do you get better over time? What was your experience about that? We want to talk about. We have a disagreement on what shit content is. That's really cool. And then we, if we have time, we'll also talk a little bit about the equipment that you're using and what we could be using. But let's get into the immediately. Joni, tell us your story. How did you get into video recording?
It started with. Actually, you cannot see it because it's a blurry background, but there's a. That side, there's a Xbox One console right there.
Oh wow!
I started with that. I started streaming to Mixer back in the day, and to Twitch. My live gameplay on video games.
But did you show yourself while you were streaming?
No.
Yeah, so here we're starting. So you're streaming, but you're too shy to show your face, which most of us are. We don't want to show our face. It feels really unnatural. So what happened?
Well, then I got enough money to buy a camera, and then it started from there. But if you're too shy, let's start with that. If you're too shy to make content, there's other ways to do so. You know, you can put your favorite animal onto the screen with OBS.
Yeah. And you can make yourself like an anime character instead of showing your face.
VTuber. Yeah, VTubing. Yeah. But also there's a lot of other things. I've seen people, have a photograph of their own dog, for example, green screen it so that there's only the dog, and then when they speak, it kind of flashes or pumps on the screen.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I'm wondering sometimes, are people shy, or is it like some excuse is maybe not the right word? Because I know they want to do it. Part of them wants to do it, and part of them don't want to do it. But when actually, like, there are actually a whole industry making millions of euros where there's not, you never know who the actual person is behind the dog with the blinking eyes, or shining, like that person probably like dog tuber 101 or something. He's probably the richest person on the internet, and so and that, but it works. Yeah, I wouldn't call that authentic content when you don't show. Well, if you show your voice, it's already a step closer. Like I'm thinking like text only. I said in a previous one that I think video is 100 times better than text only. It's 100 times faster to make a connection. But I think voice is, I don't know what points to give it, but maybe that's 50. So text is 1 point, voice is 50, and video is 100 or something like that. But you started. How long ago was that when you did your first recording?
It's been 10 years at least.
Yeah. But then we got to say, like, then let's have an argument here. So you had 10 years getting better and better, and I think this connects with shit content. So you think there's no shit content? That's how we got started arguing over on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we did.
So what's your take on it? Why would you say there's no shit content?
Well, I think there's content that you know your audience. That's the main base, kind of.
Mm.
All this content creation is looking for the right audience that watches your whatever your content is.
Mm.
I have good example, for example, feed pics. Do you think they are content? I don't, but they are being consumed a
Yeah,
lot.
that's the second millionaires we're talking about, the feed pick
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
yeah, and also not that even. I would say, hmm, bath waters and everything like that. That's a really extreme, and we
Mm.
know that's gonna sell hundreds of millions. We know
Yeah.
it's gonna sell a lot, but there's also kind of that thing that is it really content like for everybody? No.
Mm.
And when we go to content, kind of in let's say like TV shows, movies,
Mm.
are
Mm.
they for everyone? No, not really. So it kind of, do
So you
you
mean like
want to
when I make
find?
content, it's practically if I say this shit content, it's like no, that whatever you're making, the weird rule of the world is somebody will be like, wow, I like that. That
Hmm.
was my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I realized I had a person I was helping in a work environment I had. It was one client I worked with. He made videos which were, I don't know how much I can say about, but anyway, there were these videos that he made that was like basically static
Hmm.
and moving images to static, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he wasn't a millionaire on that, but he made money doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
good pocket money. Let's say like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
So
hundreds
there's,
of thousands of people watched that.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. There's audience for that, and
Mm.
for my experience back in Mixer when I was live streaming, I had to find my audience, and I did. I had 1,700 followers on Mixer, and I had concurrent viewership from 50 to 75. So
Damn.
that's a pretty good for a Finnish streamer on a platform where there is this much Finnish streamers
Yeah.
in a whole.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really really great like place for me to find my content and where it
But
sits.
let's stay on that for a bit because people are listening now. They want some advice. So you just
Hmm.
started. Okay, you put on the camera. Well, you didn't have a
Hmm.
camera. You just put on the stream. You start playing with the
Yeah.
technology to learn how to do it. But
Hmm.
then what are your insights from gaming streaming that can be used in, like, say, business or just making authentic content?
Interaction. I think
Mm.
that's the main thing.
That's why we're using
People.
StreamYard here for this recording, so that hypothetically we can have a chat. We can interact in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but tell me more.
obviously,
Sorry, I interrupted you.
yeah, yeah, no worries. So, yeah, obviously, for me, it was a really good place to start without camera, because then I can interact with the chat. Because we all live streamers have the chat where people come to write and everything like that, and comment and see something funny, and we can laugh together, we can cry together or whatever. So it kind of, we had this connection through the chat.
Mm.
And then kind of when I brought the camera, it got even more intense because they had something to look upon.
Did you notice a difference in the like growth of your streaming views or something when you added the camera?
Mm, not really, to be honest. But let's say it had an impact, obviously. They could see my face when I was laughing, and my laugh is kind of a thing that people recognize me on. So, so,
Okay.
so that was a
Famous
really
laugh.
easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really easy to go forward. And
Let's
obviously
say like
after
this: if
that,
you would have stayed in a game, I don't know. Well, we can go to how much you're streaming these days, but let's say you would have
hmm
streamed with just your voice and like no animal, no anime, nothing,
hmm
and I think eventually you should probably have topped out because people would move to people they can see. I think that would have happened. Or are you still people who
depends.
just do voice?
Yeah, there is, and they have so many followers, more than me, and
Okay. Well, maybe let me. You are probably correct, but what I'm thinking then maybe is if we're talking from a business perspective, I
hmm
want to be recognizable. Because if I want to
hmm
do business with somebody, it'd be like, "Hey, I'm Rasmus." Yeah, I've seen your stuff. That's the whole
hmm
point. So if I can't see
yeah,
you, and that's almost on purpose, it starts to become a problem. Where I'm like, "Yeah, I hear this guy, Loyal von Joni. I can hear him. He's great. He's
yeah,
this guy,
yeah,
and I've seen his
hmm
videos, but I have no idea who he is." that causes a
Mhm.
little bit of a, for what I
That
try to do here, it
that
causes a
goes,
problem.
yeah, and that goes with the podcast even.
Mm.
They haven't always been a video podcast.
Yeah, they
They
just started.
yeah, the audio podcasts, half of the time you spend on Spotify checking those out, half of the time you don't even really know their faces who are behind the podcast.
Yeah,
And it's working. And even in the
that's
business
true.
world, it's really good. Like, for
Johnny, you're
example, I,
breaking my whole hypothesis here. It seems like you actually don't even need to show your face. Just share your voice. That's enough. The
well,
bar is so low. You don't
mhm,
even have to show your
like,
face.
like scientists, for example, they say that the first thing they think about is the idea. And when it actually works, they try to break it.
Mm.
So this is kind of
You're
me
breaking.
showing you the way.
But
This is
yeah,
the way.
thank you, Johnny. Let's destroy all my thoughts and hopes. But there was this one about the voice. Somebody they did a happiness check or something, and they were checking like the dopamine or something in the brain when you
Mhm,
were sending text messages or
mhm,
looking at social media, like what your friends are doing, and it was like
mhm,
really low.
mhm,
So if you send like happy birthday to you, and I send it to you, you get like 1 point. If I
mhm,
called you, you got like it was almost equivalent to me meeting you in person.
mhm.
So the voice tonality and voice seem is so strong for us humans that I think it maybe hypothetically might be even stronger than the visual. I don't know, but at least it's strong enough that you can create a relationship with somebody just on the phone and get the full emotional experience of having an interaction with somebody. So that it goes to what you're saying now, that yeah, I think I'm talking so much about using showing your face, which I still think is beneficial, but
It
maybe
is.
it's not as important as we might imagine. Like
Yeah,
sharing your
and it
voice is
depends.
super good. Yeah.
It depends fully on the content you make.
Mm.
Do you want to show your face? You don't have to. It's not 100% must.
Mm.
But obviously, in certain content, if you check on, for example, YouTube, um, you want to check first before you start. You want to check what kind of content that you want to make is made,
Yeah, so
and
you don't want
see,
exactly the same, or you can
yeah,
learn from okay, this is the bar where the
yeah,
current type of content is at.
yeah. So,
But
for
even
example,
yeah,
this
go ahead.
this type of content doesn't use a webcam or
Mm.
any face. You're like, okay, well, then I show my face. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good competitive advantage too if you're on that platform.
Yeah.
I was listening to somebody, he was arguing some stupid shit, but I was looking at it anyway, and he only shares his voice and doesn't share his face. Isn't that a guy
Hmm.
called Anti-Profit or something? He has a mask on. He does
Hmm.
YouTube Shorts primarily, and I get him every now and then. It's really cool because he has a mask. He's talking. It's him. You see his arms and torso, and he's talking with his voice, but he has a mask. You can hear him speaking like this. That there's something in front of his mouth. I think that's and that also works.
Yeah.
And
I
so
have a
maybe
really good
yeah,
example from that.
yeah. Tell me.
Uh, in my live streaming career, I've met so many people, and I have to tell you, a man named Psycho Plays has this kind of a Psycho Ward theme on his stream,
Okay.
and he didn't really have a viewership before he put a mask on that had teeth and everything like that, and after that, he just blew
Yeah.
out of the box, makeup on, white face, mask, then the blue, I mean the black eyelines and everything. Everybody got sold, and he
Yeah.
was copied after that so many times, different
Other
ways.
people
But
did the same,
yeah, yeah, hmm,
but he was the original psych ward
yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah.
But yes,
Psycho
so there's
plays.
a point. Psycho place. There's a point to differentiate yourself helps, but I also
Hmm.
will talk about the authentic stuff. I want to get into that.
Yeah.
When you're doing the streams, one thing that I notice happen when I'm watching streams as well is that after a couple of streams, you become so comfortable just hanging out with your chat. So you are practically just talking like you're talking with a friend. It
Hmm.
becomes really authentic, which
Yeah.
is what people like, and that's why they hang out in streams because
Hmm.
it's like having a friend. And you might be in front of a
Yeah.
computer, you don't have a friend
Hmm.
nearby. It solves. So I think that's like the authentic part here. Like if we would be corporate in those streams, I'd be like, I don't want to talk with you if you don't talk who you are, what you're about. Be like,
Hmm.
well, our
Yeah.
product is selling at 5.99. It has a
Yeah. Yeah.
composited leather on it, and I'm like, yeah,
Tonight's live show we
yeah,
have. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there's one guy actually, I just met him through YouTube.
Mhm.
He's called Bine FM, and
Mhm.
he's a radio guy through
Yeah.
and through. And he does show his face on live streams,
Mm.
but he has this radio voice. Everybody recognizes him from the voice, and
Yeah.
he can just do YouTube shorts like this
Yeah.
without even showing his face because of the radio voice. Everybody
Yes.
recognizes him
Nice.
immediately.
But how do you get comfortable in front of the camera and just actually be able to be so authentic when you're talking? Like you are that right now as well. So
Yeah,
how do you do that?
well, it's experience, obviously. The more you are in front of a camera, in front of a mic, the more easier it gets. And I know that's a lame answer. Like there isn't really a holy key that makes it difference, but there.
But there's one
I've
key
been.
to it. There's one key to it that you didn't say it out loud. But when you stream, you can stream for 4 hours in a row. So if
Yeah.
I'm trying to make good video by setting this phone up on this camera up and talking, and I'm trying to do my short or something, and I do it for like half an hour.
Hmm.
If you stream for 4 hours for a week, like you're already like 20 hours up.
Yeah.
You're way ahead of the competition because you've been practicing for 20 hours.
Yeah.
And after so long, you can't keep up being not somebody else. It's too long. You can't do it. So eventually, you will revert to being some type of natural person that you are.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
many will
Yeah.
watch your stream? Like 5 people when you start. Like this. this.
When I started, there was
Yeah.
zero. Like there was
Yeah.
zero.
So
It always starts from zero, so you don't have to worry about the views. I hit my views every time I start because I noticed that it invade like it gets to my head
oh
really
yeah.
fast. So if I hide them, I can be myself without it
Mm. But
using any
this is a
kind
good
of
trick.
work to me.
So if I'm thinking about who is going to watch this and stuff, it maybe becomes too self-conscious. Like I'm thinking about who's listening. Oh, it's going to be this guy, and I'm like, I lose the. Yeah, I think that's good. Actually, I did a recording last night. If I'm looking tired, that's why.
Hmm.
And I was talking practically straight for 40 minutes into the camera,
Hmm.
and when I'm thinking like who's going to listen to this or something, I lose my thing. I have to have in my mind like who is interested in this, but I just had to keep the flow going and just talking about the topic. At that time, I was talking about working with unpaid interns, which is a very
Yeah.
inflamed
Yeah.
topic. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, sorry, but yeah, so hide the views or don't think too much about who's gonna watch it because that messes you up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there has been many cases where live streamers, content creators, they just burned out completely
Mm,
because they're
mm,
so into the numbers, the stuff like that. TikTok was a really good example from this. You can make any video there,
yeah,
just saying like blah
yeah,
and record, send it to TikTok.
and it
It
might
might,
have yeah,
yeah, it might not do anything, but when you next time go and check your phone, you have over 1,000 followers and you can live stream now on TikTok.
yeah, yeah.
That happened to me, by the way.
Okay, yes, I'm gonna make some of those blah videos.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, in TikTok for me feels like it is fair, but it feels like it's one of these wild horses you can't tame. Like I have no idea. Well, there are ways to figure out what works on TikTok and stuff, but sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like I have a good video, it should work, it doesn't, and then it's a video that absolutely shouldn't work, and like okay, so the blah video got like 100,000 views now. I was like,
Mhm.
how is this? Why is the word like this? That's
YouTube
that's
is a little bit different on that part.
mm,
On YouTube, when you get shorts, when you do shorts, which are basically YouTube's TikTok, if somebody doesn't know, but
yeah,
then the more likes you get, more it's spread towards people that
yeah.
you don't know. So, for example, if I check my YouTube studio now from what my last um, short did, was it has 567 watched times, 7 likes, only 7 likes, and we can get that numbers.
Mm,
Then 8 comments, and the last before that got 25
yeah,
with 2 likes. So
yeah.
it's
But if we stay
difficult.
on the numbers as well, I think we can stay on that for a bit. you get burned out because you stare at the numbers. You're like, okay, I
Hmm.
want to get more this time and more. Like, how can I get more people to come to my stream? And then
Hmm.
instead of making the stream as enjoyable as you can and just having fun with your audience, uh,
Hmm.
and in my case, I hope you giving value. In this case, it might be the feeling of connection and fun and interaction. But whatever the value is that you're giving, if
Hmm.
you if that's your focus, that's great. But if you focus on getting the numbers all the time, I think that yeah, it can. I guess it burns you out because you run out of ideas. What I'm going to talk about? What I'm going to? How can I like up this? How can I do this better all the time?
Hmm.
Maybe
And
that's what. Yeah.
if you like to read books, or listen to audiobooks, I just listened to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Be Useful
All right.
book. And I have to tell you, there's a lot of stuff that you can use on content creation on there. Like, there's a lot. There's like this typical mindset that you go forwards your dream. You don't give up at any point. You don't care what people say. And you just go forward and do your dream. Adjust it a little bit, but go forward your dream. And there's a lot of good other advice there as well.
Sometimes I'm wondering. Well, I'm all about making fresh stuff and new stuff because that's
Mhm.
what the algorithms likes, and what people also kind of tend to. Because if you see a
Mhm.
video from like 2 years, I'm gonna do something with Amazon, and it was like I saw a video explaining from 2 years ago. I'm like, there's no way that the interface has changed 10 times. It doesn't work. So I'm always looking for fresh stuff. So that's mostly what we're doing. But sometimes. Like I have another friend, I'm like, hey, what are you watching? He's like, yeah, I'm going through this. I don't know what the name was, the Hippocrates history or historicus or something, what they're called, like some old Greek
Mhm.
guy. He's like, yeah, I'm going through that now. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's content. That's classical, very classical. But
Yeah.
sometimes I'm wondering that we're kind of there's a lot of stuff in those what somebody has said before, even though this book is maybe not too old. There's
Mhm.
a lot of good stuff in books that we kind of miss because we're always doing
Yeah.
new content or looking at new content.
Yeah. And there's also like really good advices there. Um, Obviously, when you go to live stream or content space, people just tell you, do content
Mm.
and make it yours. And it doesn't happen in a, in an hour or two. It just happens through the years.
Mm.
And now, for example, I used to stream every day for 4 to 8 hours.
That's hardcore.
That is. And obviously, if you want income on it, that doesn't serve it because the income is so spread. It comes when it comes. So you really want to have less minutes and more content, if that makes sense.
No,
If,
tell me
if
more.
you're so, for example, a really good YouTube editor, who is said to be the best in the world for YouTube, said that people tend to do 15 to 20-minute videos about
Mm.
their content. And he said, let me check it. I can make it to 5 to 15. And he did it, and he put it on the channel, and it got more views
Yeah.
straight away. Because we as humans, we don't want to watch 20 minutes of a video, to be honest, if
Not
it's
if
not
it
live.
actually should be 12 minutes and it's 20. You're like, why are you wasting my time?
Yeah, yeah. But
So you
they
rather when you
don't
say
say it.
streaming, so if you're streaming, you should be set up, ready to go. And when it starts on fire. Like we're playing and I'm in it and we're going. And you're focusing on some. Or tell me more. Yeah.
Depends. In here, it depends as well. Because many times you want to warm up the audience. You want to warm up them to the actual content on that live stream. So many people do chatting at say first hour or so. They do chatting, check out the internet on the news and stuff like that. Get
Well,
people
let's say
in.
what you're doing is, but you should come in warm, ready. Like I'm going to be chatting. I'm going to watch the news. I
Hmm.
don't need to know what the news are necessarily, but like I
Yeah.
know I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be interacting right away with the people who are
Hmm.
listening, making it an exciting environment for them. But and
Hmm.
maybe then do it, but not do it for like necessarily 4 hours. Like do it two, or
Hmm.
not maybe every day, but every third. Like what
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
adjustments have you done in your life compared to this insane streaming schedule you used to have?
Well, obviously, when Mixer fell, it kind of felt I felt with it. I got money from that because it fell. But we're talking about hundreds of euros
Mm.
that I got. But you know, then it started to go. I was at school at the moment. I was at the university studying to be an engineer and stuff like that. So it took my time a little bit.
Mm.
So I had to adjust my live streaming, obviously, and the rest of the life behind me. So so it kind of mixed, and I got into a bad mental state, to be honest. And it took me 2 years to get out of it. And after that, my content started to be only on like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. A little bit on weekends if I
Mm.
was at home,
Mm.
but it started to be less and less of live streaming per week
Mm.
after that, because I understood that if I do it too much, it's too much.
Mm.
People don't
There is
people
such
know
a
that
thing as
I
too much streaming.
yeah, because they know that I'm live every time, so they can just go and come whenever they please. They know I'm live. That's a good thing at first, but then it starts to scramble, and your viewerships and everything goes down, and your
So it's
mental
better to
health
have like,
goes
hey, I want
down.
to check it on Monday because Yoni is going to be live on Monday, so I want to check Yoni on Monday instead of like, yeah, Yoni is always live. I'll check it out every now and then.
Hmm.
So you create a little bit of scarcity, and that
Hmm.
has a positive effect. I can see that. Also, I like the roller coaster that we're on now. Like, yeah, we should do content. And it's like, yeah, if you do it too much, you're gonna enter a dark
Yeah,
place.
like I
So,
said, let's destroy that what we build
yeah.
on and
So there's
build
a
new.
benefit to streaming as a path to learning the craft of being in front of a camera because there's so much
Hmm.
time, and also you get to be more authentic because you can't keep up a facade and be even remotely interesting for 4 hours per
Hmm.
day if you do it even if you do it 3 days a week. Like that's just such a big number, dude. You're getting me excited to try this because every now I don't play as much as others, but I'm like I used to play a lot, and now, but I'm now thinking it'd be fun to kind of do it the streaming style. Maybe I'll be a streamer now. I'm going to change my career. Everybody listening to this, no, but anyway, but I got something I wrote here that I notice is a problem for all of us. I want to highlight that. Listen to everybody now. One of the problems is what I call a technical barrier. So instead. One of the reasons I didn't record, for example, using the backside of my camera, because I felt it was complicated. I was like, nah, it's going to be complicated. And now instead I did like this. I'm just going to try to make the back camera work. I don't care about the content. Like I separated content creation from technical discovery. And then things became so much easier. It sounds stupid, but I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to set it up and just see, can I even record at all? That took 5 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, this is so easy. But it could be the
Yeah.
same with the streaming. One reason I haven't streamed is because anytime I've been thinking of streaming, I'm like, well, I'll have to set it up and I can do OBS or make streamer. I don't know what I'm going to use. It's going to take. So if I would instead think, hey, let's try to see what technology I need to run to make a stream work, and look at some YouTube videos and stuff and set it up and call you on and see if you can help me.
Hmm.
And that will be the project. That then I'm set up. Then I can just hit the bat. The ball is just coming because I've set up the tech. I think that's a part of getting going. What do you think about that, Joni? Does it make sense?
Well, yeah. Obviously, it makes sense in a sense, yes. But in a content, when you're making live stream content, you don't really need any technology. Um,
Because
it
Joni, you're too smart. You're too smart. A guy like me, I'd be like, duh, 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 duh. Like you have no idea
it,
how hard. When you said you're streaming through Xbox, I'm like, holy crap! How do you stream through? It's not even a PC. Like I don't even. Yeah.
well, it's simple. It's there. If you go through the manual, you can see that there's
You have to look at
record
the
stuff.
manual. You're like Joni, you lost me there. Who's gonna check a fucking manual? You check it when things are broken. Then like, oh no, I have to check the manual. Oh God.
Well, what funny thing on Xbox they show the main things when you open it at the first time. They show what happens where and what goes where.
Yeah.
So if you pay attention and just not press A all the time.
Stop
Yeah,
showing me
I
instructions.
just want to play.
I want to fail. I want to fail on my own accord.
But yeah, you don't really need technology. Saying, I'm
But it,
saying
it is
this
already
with
embedded in everywhere we're having things now. They're like, you want to
yeah,
stream? Click this button. It's there.
this
Yeah.
is all you need for live streaming.
Yeah.
Not this phone, but a phone.
Yeah.
This is all you need. You don't need
So I
anything
could
else.
just set it up. I'm playing here. Yeah. So Well,
Yeah.
okay, let's go away from streaming for a bit. We don't
Mhm.
have too much time.
Yeah.
So, what tips do you have for people who want to get into doing authentic content, getting comfortable on screen? What else? Yeah, your practice is one thing. What else? Tips and tricks. Tips back to old Johnny. What would you tell old Johnny to do differently,
Just do it.
or young Johnny? If we better guess.
Yeah.
Just do
Just do
it.
it.
All right.
Yeah. Uh, Take an interest in it. Check every possible information you can find about it. Make your own ideas about it, and start from that. Then
Mm.
think, what's your theme of content? And then check what others do on that theme of content. There's always sub themes. So, for example, gaming is a theme, not sub theme. It's a theme where there's RPGs, driving games, everything, gaming news, stuff like that. It's a vast world over
Yeah.
there. So, kind of try to find what you are most passionate about.
Yeah. I think what you said there kind of mixed in, but the path is start the thing, start recording, try something out,
Mhm,
feel it out, then learn about a little bit what other people are doing, record again,
mhm,
try something out, learn something more, record, and then you get this loop of like improvement loop. And
mhm.
in that path, it might take you a couple of weeks or a month. And you learn, oh wait, man, yeah, that is actually this type of content. When thinking about it now, when I've streamed for a while, I've done some content. Actually, if I keep talking about that, that's not. There's already somebody doing really really well on that. I don't fit that niche. I should actually go into this sub niche. But if you, the only way to do it like is like to record, test, learn, record, test, learn. Like you have to have
Yeah.
that loop.
The first thing, I think, the two things you have to find in any content creation is your superpowers. What are they?
Mm,
And the second one is finding your audience. And that these two take time. They are not like 5 minutes and it's done.
yeah. And
Um,
there's no level of searching maybe either that you can search on the internet
yeah,
forever.
you can search for example, how to gain superpower. I mean, like how to find your own superpower, for
Yeah.
example, and start with that. For me, I'm really curious for technology and stuff like that. And plus, I'm really inspiring. I do inspire people a lot. Like
And
you
you can
said.
read instructions, which I think was also quite cool.
Well, they don't. I'm not engineer for nothing.
Yeah,
I learned to
exactly. Yeah.
read.
Yeah. Like, mom, look at this amazing man. Marry him right away. He can read and shit.
Yeah, but either case, back to the topic. If you're, let's say, if your superpowers are same as mine, you're curious, you're you are inspiring, then you should maybe find out ways to power those powers up.
Mm.
I was acting a lot, like in plays when I was a young boy. I used to act in church and act in their Easter plays and stuff like that when I was really young, about 15 years ago. And now, where I am, I'm really used to being on a camera because I've done this almost 10
Yeah.
years.
But you get the leverage. I was thinking about another guy. I have this. I know some actors here in Turku that I think are really good. One of them made a version of Romeo and Juliet.
Mhm.
The whole thing was in rhymes for like 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
In rhymes. And dude, I was talking with him, and he was trying to explain. I was happy listening to him, but it was so technically complicated and really cool. But I was like, wow, I'm just happy listening to you, but I can never replicate it. You're great. I know you can do that now. But then I realized because it's made is art. It's made and yeah, he maybe saved the actual document, yes, but his knowledge and skill is lost on the almost all of us because only 100 people or 200 people, even 1,000 people saw that show. But if he would have do something similar, put his intellect and skill and enthusiasm into a digital format, that could have gone I don't know how long. But because we
Yeah.
don't, because actors generally speaking, when they're in the theater world, so when the things you did as a child, let's say, I mean, if you were younger, if you were young now, you do the same stuff using the phone, you would
Mhm.
already be. some famous person, if the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
techniques
Mhm.
were used using the digital medium where it can be spread. It's
Yeah.
like this leverage, like how being on stage is great, being on stage in front of a camera is even better, and if that is streamed or made online, like now we're talking.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what I figured out, by the way. That's why I started doing this properly, because I'm like, what am I doing stuff privately? It's a waste. Where
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
And for example, the same kind of content you make, there is people that make it from the live stream content creation platform. They make news, talk about them for hours on YouTube. Like
Mm.
they have hour-long videos on YouTube, and it's been watched. I don't know
Oh,
how many
I
minutes.
watch them too. I'm one of those. I prefer
Yeah.
to consume news through a interpreter, like to somebody watching the
Hmm.
news and go into different sources and showing from different perspectives. I like that. That's what the news media is dying. I'm like, it's because why don't you have your own podcasts? Why don't you have this analysis stuff? Why like it's right in front of you, and every day these YouTubers gets larger, and the newspapers like, what's happening? Why? I'm like, they're showing you the playbook. It's
Hmm.
right there. I've been seeing it. Like, for example, there was this, like, some protest, and then they had the news media was there doing some report of it, like mostly peaceful or something like that, with like shootings and fires or something. And then
Yeah.
you have, I'm like, how about you guys release the stream? Just release 24 hours. Just stream the whole thing, because you had reporters, right? Just stream the whole thing.
Hmm.
Show me what
Hmm.
happened. And the news media is like, no, we'll not show you the whole thing. I'm like, what are you hiding? Like, just show me the whole thing. And like,
Yeah.
well, we can't have a person on the ground filming for like a whole day. That'd be insane. I'm like, that'd be fucking normal. Sorry, that's what you should be doing, because you have all the equipment and all the money in the world to do that, but you
Yeah.
refuse. And then we have some stupid kids like 15 years old with a GoPro. He'll record it, and then you'll see what. So I'd rather look at the GoPro than looking at your stupid show that you're trying to report. And then just show me the source material. How hard can that? This was all I've already complained about this for years. Now I think it's
Yeah.
now this is now like unsavable. Like, it's like almost live streams are almost like not even done anymore, because it's yeah.
But yeah, it is like you said. A really great example is Finnish radio
Mm,
at this time. It's a great example when you add social media to the mix. They have
mm,
constant live streams from the studio
yeah.
and filming all the stuff to the social media like TikTok,
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube Shorts, and stuff like that. They get views. They get
Yeah,
listeners
like, if
a
we just
lot.
realize like radio maybe it's not only the radio waves we can do,
Hmm.
we just have to think content instead of the
Mm.
format itself. It's like we're trying
Hmm.
to produce. Yeah, so they're catching up, they're getting there.
Yeah.
Let's
Hmm.
cover some protests, come on. Let's get
Yeah.
the camera in the protest. But that, well, maybe I'm wishful thinking. All right, Joni, we need to round this off.
Yeah.
Where do you want people to find you? LinkedIn,
Um,
Twitch?
People can find me on YouTube. That's my main platform now.
Mhm.
I got partnered in 3 months on YouTube. I got from 144 subscribers to 2016 in 3 months. So yeah, the content is there now.
All
I found
right,
it my home. It's a really good
nice,
place.
nice.
And also on Twitch. Now I live stream on both because Twitch had its TOS changed so that you can live stream multiple
Oh,
platforms.
that's
So
good. Yeah, then why not? If somebody
yeah.
talked to this, I get this question every now and then. What platform should I be on? I'm like, well, all of them. It's like
Mhm.
there's rarely, especially if you do edited videos of some sort. Well, like, why not all, like YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, like all of them? That they're just the same
Mhm.
video. Well, of course,
Yeah.
you can make it adjusted for the platform, but like you can just release it. Like, you don't have to fix it
Yeah.
every time.
And the best equipment for software wise is OBS for
Which is
way
free.
good. Yeah, which is free. It's open source, broadcast source, or
Yeah, something.
whatever it
Yeah,
was.
something
Yeah.
like that.
But either case, it is a best one. You can have plugins on it. And what plugins means, you can have enchantments to the original OBS experience. And for example, you can have vertical uh, camera
Amazing.
canvas, so you can basically live stream the whole live stream in vertical canvas, and then just
Oh.
take clips, send them to TikTok, YouTube Shorts,
Yeah.
whatever.
So it's already vertical. Well,
Yeah.
the thing I've been playing a little bit of OBS, and I mean, why I did it is because I have my 13-year-old cousin. He's like, look at
Yeah.
this stuff, and he was doing an OBS. I'm like, motherfucker, he can do it. I mean, he's 13, or he think he was 12. I'm like, if he can set this up, I can.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
was
yeah.
so, and it is quite like as soon as you get a hold of it, and you just have to put like an hour, play around
Mhm.
with it, start a stream, you figure it out. And if you don't, you like look at YouTube video, they explain it in 5 minutes how you're going to do it. Okay, you do that thing.
Yeah.
We're getting. I think we're stopping ourselves. Like we're just, yeah. We don't want the 13-year-olds to take over the world, guys. We got to do this. Come on, get this on streaming. All right, Joni, I
But yeah,
appreciate you. Yeah, yeah. Anything else? Last thing. Last words.
yeah, yeah. I was saying about the equipment, and I have a few thousands words of equipment at the moment on my on my studio. So you
Yeah.
don't really need this much. Like I said, just a
Yeah.
phone is enough for you to
Yeah.
make content, and it has been actually more worth it than this whole setup that I have.
Yeah, phones are insanely powerful. All right,
But
Joni.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll talk about
thanks.
them maybe another time. Thank you very much for coming. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you for sharing, and good luck with all the streaming.
yeah. Thank you.